So Mike Lee took to the floor of the Senate to go after the Green New Deal and to go after climate change. And he was instantly memed. Take a look.
Senator from Utah.
Critics will no doubt chastise me for not taking climate change seriously. But please, Mr. President, nothing could be further from the truth. Because this image has as much to do with overcoming communism in the 20th century as the Green New Deal has to do with overcoming climate change in the 21st. Now, while perhaps not as efficient in some ways as airplanes or as snowmobiles, these hairy bipedal species of space lizards offer their own unique benefits. Not only are tauntauns carbon neutral, but according to a report a long time ago and issued far, far away, they may even be fully recyclable and usable for their warmth, especially on a cold night. I draw your attention, Mr. President, to the 20-foot impressive seahorse he's riding. Under the Green New Deal, this is probably Hawaii's best bet. Now, I'm the first to admit that a massive fleet of giant, highly trained seahorses would be cool. It would be really, really awesome. But we have to consider a few things. We have no idea about scalability or domestic capacity in this sector. The last thing we want is to ban all airplanes. The solution to climate change is not this unserious resolution that we're considering this week in the Senate, but rather the serious business of human flourishing. The solution to so many of our problems, at all times and in all places, is to fall in love, get married, and have some kids.
He dared to call the Green New Deal unserious in the middle of the most unserious rant I've ever seen on the floor of the Senate. So he thinks what he's doing here is like, me, I'm being so clever. I am going to meme and troll like the youngins on the interwebs. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He knows what's going to happen here. You know, he's playing the media. Oh, see, look, I'm showing the fucking goofy Star Wars thing. I'm showing Trump on a velociraptor. And the implication and what he flat out says at one point is just a lie. I need everybody to understand that. When he says the Green New Deal is taking away cars and planes, that is fundamentally not true. It is a lie. It's a lie. He's lying. These people are liars. What I find amazing about mainstream politics among elected Republicans and among the most ardent, hardcore followers of the base is that you can literally take the most absurd, comical, obviously fake meme that makes its way around Facebook, and it becomes a mainstream talking point as if it's real. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's like there was this picture of Trump. It was obviously photoshopped. It wasn't even close. You could see it within 0.01 seconds of looking at this picture. Trump was on a boat saving people from a hurricane. And there were people on Facebook who thought, that's my president. He done nailed it. He's saving lives. We love Trump. Make America great again. And the only way you're going to fall for that is if you're already super brainwashed in that bubble. And what Mike Lee is doing here is he's preaching to those people who are super brainwashed in that far-right bubble. And they're going to love this shit, man. They're going to love it. They're going to eat it up. They're going to think he's awesome. Look at him, bro. He's trolling the left, triggering the liberals. I base my whole ideology on triggering the other side, bro. Got him. We got him, bro. But what you don't understand is, even to people who are somewhat apolitical, or even people who are moderately right-leaning, they look at you and they go, you look like a jackass. Like, you think you're being clever here? No. You're not playing us, you're playing yourself. Like, when you look at the scientific studies on the issue of climate change, they're not, like, up in the air. It's not 50-50. It's not like hey, maybe not, we do something about it. It's like, oh my God, every time we look at this, it's worse than the worst case scenario. And this is going to lead to a million direct problems. Not just sea level rise, which obviously threatens major cities, and it will do that. But it's also going to lead to drought. It's also going to lead to famine. It's also going to lead to wars over water. It's also going to lead to a giant refugee crisis. You think there's a refugee crisis because of the war in Syria? Pfft, you ain't seen nothing yet. When the entire Middle East has to empty out because it's too hot for humans to live there, and we're on the way to that. It could happen within 100 fucking years. You fucking moron. You dumbass. But no, I'm going to troll the other side. Look at my silly pictures. Isn't Ocasio-Cortez an idiot? Isn't the Green New Deal bad? Because I'm saying it wants to do this thing that it doesn't want to do, like ban cars. It's not banning cars. It's not banning airplanes. Stop lying. You are a liar. That's what you are. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there things to criticize about the Green New Deal? Yes. And anybody on the left who says there's not, I think you're being silly. Like, for one thing, I hate the fact that they tried to lump in a bunch of stuff into the Green New Deal that's not part of the Green New Deal. Like, they tried to put Medicare for all in that. No, that's separate. That's a separate thing. Okay? And there's a bunch of things in there that I'm like, what are you doing? You just made like a laundry list of things we want, and you're putting it in this one piece of legislation. Why would you shoot yourself in the foot like that? That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Make the Green New Deal the Green New Deal, full stop. So there are definitely things to criticize in it, but I just need you to understand that the right-wing critics of it are liars. This guy's a liar, and his whole point is, I'm just going to preach to the choir who already agrees with me and hope this blows up on the internet, which it did. But again, to anybody who's not already brainwashed, they're going to go, you're a jackass. Like, we have, seriously, insanely serious problems here. Like, climate change is such a dire problem for humanity, and he's just, like, mocking it and saying, yeah, Green New Deal is so dumb and so unserious. No, you're unserious, dude. But what are you going to do when half the political spectrum now, their ideology is partly based on trigger the libs? That's it. That's a fundamental core part of their ideology. And again, I know it makes them think like, ooh, we're having fun, this is hilarious, but okay. At what point will you get tired of that and like mature a little bit and go, oh, okay, we actually have real problems that we probably should address and that require serious attention and nuance and detail and objectivity, and like, if you're in that kind of mindset, why are you even involved in politics? Like, why is that a thing that appeals to you? Like, I'm just going to shit on everything and troll, and that's it. I mean, that's fun some of the times, but if that's your like a fundamental part of your ideology, I hate to burst your bubble, but you're just a fucking idiot. Like, it's not like what these guys love to do is they love to feel like they offended people. Like, oh, have I offended you? Am I too edgy for you? Got ya! And what I'm here to tell these people is, no, I'm not at all offended by what you're saying. I'm not triggered by what you're saying. I just think you're a fucking idiot. Like, there's a big difference between those things. It's one thing to be like, I'm so offended. Ah, I'm melting down. Ah. That's one thing, and that's the reaction they want. That's the reaction they want from you. It's a totally separate thing to just, like, I look at you like, I don't know, a dude who's on the street corner who's preaching about end times and he's pulling shit out of his ass and rolling it into balls in his hand. That's how I look at you. I look at you like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Like, that's how I see you. That's how I see you. And actually, that's not even fair to the guy who's preaching about end times, because maybe he actually has genuine psychological problems. What's your excuse? You don't have one. You're just a dumbass. What do you want me to tell you? So wake up. Come on. Mature. It's the same thing I say to Shapiro fans. You know what? I get it. He talks really fast. He makes you think he's smart. He's good at making you think he's smart. But then at a certain point, you grow up a little bit and you see, okay, well, there's a contradiction, and there's a contradiction, and that makes no fucking sense. And what the fuck is he saying here? That's totally against what the evidence says. So at a certain point, I forgive you. You were on Shapiro's team for X amount. Time to graduate. Let's go. Let's go. Let's move on here. You got this. You're good enough. You're smart enough. You can graduate. You got this, buddy. I believe in you. You could do it. So same thing with these kind of clowns. We're not offended. We're not triggered. We're not little snowflakes looking for a safe space. There's a difference between getting mad at you because you're politically incorrect and realizing that you're incorrect. Like, you're not politically incorrect. You're just incorrect. Like, there's a difference. It's one thing to be politically incorrect. I'm politically incorrect all the fucking time. I say things that in polite society they'd be like, oh, I'm offended. So I don't care about that. I'm pro political incorrectness. What I'm against is incorrectness, because that's a tautology. You have to be against it. It's incorrect. And that's what Mike Lee's doing here. So wake up. If you think this guy's a serious intellectual, that's really, really sad.